Hello everyone. For my mediated presentation in Professor Gifford's class, I am focusing on Bolsonaro and Mercosur. We're going to leave California and head to South America, to the country of Brazil. Let's start with a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To begin, let's explore Brazil. Nicknamed O País Tropical, Portuguese for the tropical country, Brazil has been said to be the country of the future, and will always be, never quite arriving at a superpower destination. In the rest of South America, Brazil is called the South American giant. Brazil is a sleeping giant that when it awakes will shake the world, much like Napoleon said about China. Brazilians prefer the beach, the sun, a soccer game, and caipirinha, the national sugarcane-based alcoholic drink, and not grenades, mines, tanks, and nuclear weapons. Brazil would be a different kind of superpower, juxtaposed to the United States, preferring the sweetness of life's pleasures and not war. In the minds of Americans, Brazil is a tropical utopia where magic and life's sensuous pleasures breathe. When people think of Brazil, they think of Rio's paradise pastel-colored beaches, Copacabana, and Ipanema. Of its passion in playing soccer, called in Brazil, o jogo bonito, Portuguese for the beautiful game. People think of the seductive beat of samba and of the sugary sweetness of carnaval. Brazil is a giant country, slightly larger than the continental US, with vast farmlands, natural resources, and 14% of the world's freshwater supply. The Amazon River, flowing mostly through Brazil, is the largest river by drainage volume of water in the world. Brazil is home to the richest biodiversity on Earth, with 20% of the world's biodiversity found within its borders. Brazil has one of the most advanced biofuel industries in the world. Brazil is the world's second largest producer of ethanol fuel, second only to the United States. Brazil's best-known companies are Petrobras, a semi-public energy company, considered Brazil's most treasured in terms of market value, and Embraer, a Brazilian aerospace company that is the third largest in the world after the American Boeing and European Airbus. An economist from Goldman Sachs predicted that Brazil, along with Russia, China, and India, known collectively as the BRICS, would dominate the world economy in the 21st century and beyond. Now let's navigate through a brief survey of the history of Brazil. Brazil was discovered in 1500 by the Portuguese explorer Pedro Álvares Cabral. In 1822, Brazil gained independence from Portugal. Brazil was the last country to abolish slavery in the Western Hemisphere in 1888. During World War II, Brazil joined the victorious Allies and fought against the Axis powers of Germany, Italy, and Japan. In 1960, President Kubitschek moved the capital from Rio to Brasilia, the futuristic capital city designed in the shape of an airplane. In 2002, Lula, from the Workers' Party known as Partido dos Trabalhadores, in Portuguese, was elected President of Brazil. Lula became one of the most popular politicians in Brazil's history and in the rest of the world with his star power. In 2018, Jair Bolsonaro was victorious in the Brazilian presidential election, despite his heated racist, sexist, and homophobic rhetoric that echoes 20th century fascism, while Jair Bolsonaro echoes Hitler with his hatred towards humanity. Let's now steer towards exploring the uncharted waters of Mercosur. What is Mercosur? Mercosur is a supranational trading bloc of South American countries light years ahead of NAFTA, but light years behind the European Union in its regional continental integration. Its current members are Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. Venezuela became a member in 2012, but was suspended administratively in 2016 and politically in 2017 due to its rupture with the democratic order. Mercosur, as it is known in both English and Spanish, is known as Mercosul, with an L instead of an R at the end, in Portuguese. The official languages of Mercosur are Spanish, Portuguese, and Guarani. Guarani is an official language of Paraguay. It is an Amerindian language natively spoken in Brazil and Argentina, and in Paraguay. The founding members were Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay in 1991 during the signing of the Asunción Accord in the capital city of Paraguay. Mercosur's founding pillars are democracy and economic development. Commerce between the members has increased astronomically, integrating them closely. Beyond economic matters, there has been progress in migratory, work, cultural, and social spheres. In this respect, Mercosur is more than a free trading zone, but not quite a monetary union yet. One of the crown achievements of Mercosur includes the treasured Mercosur passport that contains 5 stars symbolizing the 5 countries where its holders can freely travel through open borders between each member country and claim the same rights as back home. The Mercosur passport has facilitated travel between the members, whether for business or for pleasure, with easier access through airports, increasing the connectivity of the Southern Cone and boosting the tourist industry. Mercosur passport holders can live, study, travel, work, or retire in the other member states with total liberty. The freedom to move between open borders within Mercosur provides the citizens of its member states the opportunity to broaden their horizons on different cultures through cultural exchanges and accords. Beyond these advances at a regional continental level, Mercosur has signed multiple trade, political, and cooperation accords with various countries and supranational organizations around the world. Each member state contributes what it can with its economic possibilities. Mercosur helps with infrastructure projects to accelerate the social development of its members. Among the successful projects include the installation of electrical grids, connectivity, the construction and upgrading of roads, highways, and railways, the development of tourism products, the improvement of the water systems, educational renovation, and a program for the research and prevention of diseases. Mercosur possesses a gigantic variety of natural riches and treasures, water reserves, biodiversity, energy resources, fertile farmland, and a population over 295 million that share a similar heritage and a common bright future moving towards tomorrow. Mercosur's bright stars are pointing the way to Brazil's prosperity. Unfortunately, the euphoria of Jair Bolsonaro's electoral victory has casted a dark shadow on the future of Mercosur. Following Trump's Made in America crusade, Bolsonaro is leading his own coined Made in Brazil. Bolsonaro is a deeply polarizing, hatred-charged, and temperamentally explosive figure in Brazilian society. His rhetoric has targeted minorities of all colors, including blacks, the indigenous tribes, the LGBT community, and women. By attacking the fabric of Brazil's democracy, Bolsonaro is also attacking one of the pillars of Mercosur, democracy. His veiled crusade against communists is actually a smokescreen to distract from his assault on Brazilian democracy. Bolsonaro's followers are chanting, "A nossa bandeira jamais será vermelha," Portuguese for, "Our flag will never be red." Brazil has been hypnotized by a fascist demagogue, as the citizens have just given the far-right extremist, Bolsonaro, an electoral victory. Bolsonaro has favorable views of the military dictatorship in Brazil. Let's hear some of the venom he has to say. If you don't understand Portuguese, read the subtitles in English of the toxic words coming from his heart.
Vamos juntos transformar esse país em uma grande nação. Uma nação livre, democrática e próspera. Brasil acima de tudo, Deus acima de todos. Muito obrigado. construiremos uma nova nação. Há uma limpeza nunca visto na história do Brasil. Esses marginais vermelhos serão banidos de nossa pátria.
Eu sou favorável à tortura, tu sabe disso.
Jamais isso pra você que você não merece.
Olha, eu espero que não.
Se é esse o papo, eu te dou outra. Dá que 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 eu te dou outra.
Mas o que é isso?
Você me chamou de estuprador? Você me chamou de estuprador? Você é uma imoral. Tá, vagabunda?
Mas o que é isso?
Nós não, o povo, a sociedade brasileira não gosta de homossexual.
Eu fui num quilombola em Eldorado Paulista. O afrodescendente mais leve lá pesava 7 arrobas. Não fazem nada. Eu acho que nem para procriadores serve mais.
Bolsonaro here is saying that they haven't treated Brazil's Indians bad, that Bolivia's president believes Brazil's Indians should be kept isolated and in reserves. Bolsonaro then says, like if they were animals in a zoo. He tries to soften his tone up by adding, Indians are humans just like us. They want what we want. Bolsonaro says that they shouldn't use the situation of the Indians to divide up areas of land that, according to the UN, can become new countries in the future. He concludes by questioning why an area twice as large as the state of Rio de Janeiro is reserved for 9,000 Indians, saying that it is not fair. During Operation Car Wash, on April 7, 2018, Lula was arrested and sentenced to 12 years in prison on charges of money laundering and corruption. Lula intended to run for the presidency in 2018, but was disqualified by the Superior Electoral Court. Bolsonaro's electoral victory in the world's fourth largest democracy is part of a wave of frustration, anger, and hatred taking the Western world by storm. Bolsonaro has been dubbed the Trump of the tropics, or the Brazilian Trump, due to his unpredictable and erratic behavior. Bolsonaro has audaciously claimed to be, quotes, I am a Trump admirer. Let's hear more of Bolsonaro's venomous words about guns and Mercosur.
Eu desconheço ela no Brasil. Isso é Estados Unidos. Isso eu quero para o meu Brasil.
When asked by a journalist, you are against the politics of integrating with Mercosur? That's what you're saying? Bolsonaro replied candidly, completely, they don't have anything to interest us. If you have bad neighbors, are you obligated to have a good relationship with them? Brazil and Argentina are the motor of Mercosur, much like Germany and France are in the European Union. Mercosur has increased the trade between the two richest members of the trading bloc, Brazil and Argentina. After China and the United States, Argentina is Brazil's largest trading partner. The commerce between both countries has skyrocketed from $3 billion in 1991 to $33 billion in 2010. The most bought Argentine products by Brazil are cars, metals, and wheat. The most sold Brazilian products to Argentina are cars and minerals. Mercosur's GDP is about to surpass Germany's. While Mercosur protects its member states, it also impedes their growth because according to the rules of the trading bloc, its member countries cannot sign agreements with the rest of the world individually. This means everything has to be done as a group. The presidents of the member countries of Mercosur agreed to implement reforms to revamp the static economic bloc. The new agreement comes days after the incoming Bolsonaro government threatened to withdraw from the bloc if there weren't any changes that would benefit Brazil's manufacturing industry. Mercosur's member countries should be able to sign bilateral or multilateral agreements outside of the bloc. Mercosur should not be a dead-end station for its members, but it should be a launchpad towards the rest of the world. Argentina's President Macri tried to ease Bolsonaro's threats by agreeing that reforms were much needed to make Mercosur more globally competitive in the most recent summit at Mercosur's headquarters in the Uruguayan capital Montevideo. While Bolsonaro did not attend the summit, since he won't be sworn into power until January 1st, 2019, he was able to attend the ceremony commemorating the launch to sea of Brazil's Riachuelo submarine. It will be an additional reinforcement to protect the Brazilian coast. Riachuelo is part of the Made in Brazil program of developing its own Navy submarines. This was a huge nub to Mercosur's leaders and further revealed Bolsonaro's ambitions to make Brazil not only a superpower, but also a hegemonic power with ambitions that extend beyond South America and also beyond the trading bloc that is Mercosur. In summary, Bolsonaro's vision for Mercosur was best expressed by his Minister of Economics, Paulo Guedes, when he declared Mercosur and Argentina won't be priorities for the Bolsonaro administration. Bolsonaro's Make Brazil Great Again campaign goes beyond manufactured goods that are made in Brazil, but also mimicking the Americans with their laws as well. Nicknamed the Trump of the Tropics or the Brazilian Trump, Bolsonaro was able to gamble and win by tapping into the politics of fear, despair, and hate. Bolsonaro is sexist, homophobic, and racist. In essence, Bolsonaro is a far-right extremist bordering on fascism. As a paratrooper turned politician, he has been caricatured in the Brazilian media as Rambonado, a portmanteau of Bolsonaro and Rambo, the Hollywood American war rebel. It is still to be seen whether Mercosur can survive the Bolsonaro baptism of fire and unite the South American countries even further, or whether it will become history like the Soviet Union. Thank you, everyone. This concludes my mediated presentation.